Welcome to Wrestling in Color Podcast. Yeah. This is Stephanie. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. I'm still struggling to get to 300. It could be me. It could be YouTube. I don't know. But I'm not going to stop. So, whatever. Thumbs up the video. Follow me. Hit me in the comments. All of this podcast that I'm doing today, I think is of importance, and I think there's some things that need to be said. Whether you agree with me or not, make sure you put it in the comments and tell me what you don't agree with, what you do agree with. Let's have the discourse. It's fun. So, what are we talking about? You see the picture. Pro wrestling and activism. You could just say celebrity and activism because pro wrestlers are celebrities, right? So, the problem is a lot of celebrities, pro wrestlers are not educated on the things that they speak of, and some are more educated than others. The problem is, in the atmosphere that we're in right now, there are things that are going on, and everyone wants to have a say, and you're either going to be right, wrong, or in between. But there's the truth, there's a lie, and then there is what it is, okay? So, being a black woman that enjoys wrestling since I was 4 years old, over 35 years, I'm 40 years old now, it's very difficult when I'm told to get over things, move on, it is what it is, and I have to sit back and watch these people wrestle and then look in their real life and see how divisive, ignorant, and stupid they are and flat out wrong. But I'm supposed to turn on my TV any given day to watch wrestling, and I'm overwhelmed with this thought that I can't separate the actor from their craft. I can't separate the person from the character, because sometimes, and we've seen this in in A&E's biography, we've seen this in Behind the Ring, sometimes it spills over into real life where people become the character they are, shit happens, things go wrong, they get reeled back in, and most of the time it's too late. Like the Brian Pillman episode, which I'm going to talk about in a whole nother thing, because that episode, not only was it excellent, but it pissed me the fuck off. But that's another thing. What we're talking about here is integrity, ethics, morals, common sense, and just overall humanity that is missing. Okay? So let's talk about it. Right now, we have a couple things going on in the world. Specifically in the United States, in the world. Right now we got Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Listen, that's been going on since I was born, since my dad was born, my parents were born, and my grandparents, okay? Since World War II, it has been an issue. Because prior to World War II, those Palestinians were there, okay? That's just a fact. There's no confusion on that. Palestinians are also Christian, and they can also be Jewish. All of them aren't Muslim. So let's get that cleared up. Every Jewish person is not Israeli and does not live in Israel. Let's clear that up. After World War II, some of those Jews who were persecuted decided to stay in Germany. A couple thousand of them. And Germany passed laws, so what happened then don't happen now. Okay? And there's Jews from Germany, European Jews in the United States living here too. Those Jews are not Israeli. Every Jewish person you're coming across isn't Israeli. So let's get that clear. Number two, just to give you a little bit of a quick lesson on something, the largest supporters of Israel in the United States are evangelical Christians. Now, if you know what an evangelist is, you know what I'm talking about. And I don't care what anyone says. That's a cult like no other. And I look at the Trinity Network, which is a Christian network here in Ohio. I mean, listen, it's Ohio. And from what I understand, there is this thing where these evangelicals are supporting Israel because they feel like The rapture is going to come, and it's going to come in Israel. Jesus is going to return to Israel, sacrifice all those Jews that are in that isolated area, and these evangelicals plan on moving into that region. I kid you not. That's exactly what their doctrine is. Okay? So we got that little bit of history out. Now, I remember Yasser Arafat was the middleman for the Israelis and the Palestinians, and to form this Palestinian state. And then, now we're here. That man's dead and gone. Okay, then you had Donald Trump make Jerusalem the capital, that further tensions. And then there's a lot of things that's been going on that we don't know about because we are also isolated as Americans. There's a lot of things that the United States does and that indoctrinates Americans to where we don't think they do it. And when I say we, I'm saying Americans. I'm American, but I know better. A lot of Americans refuse to know better. Then you have critical race theory that people don't understand, which is basically teaching students on an academic level what history of racism, social classism, things like Jim Crow, slavery, Manifest Destiny has done to society, and how what those things have done has shaped our systems. That's all it's teaching you. So just like the Jews say, what happened there in Germany don't happen again. So what's happened here in the United States should not happen again. But if you notice, we are still repeating the same shit because that is not being taught. Okay? So now you have that issue going on. And in the same breath, you can't point out the ills of what Israel's doing to the Palestinians without being called anti-Semitic, and you can't point out the ills of what white people are doing without being called, racist, and that's a whole nother deflective confusion out of the back conversation because it's so much nuance. So you got all this going on, and everybody wants to chime in, and that's fine. But like I said, you need to understand what you're chiming in on and what you're about to say. So with that being said, let's just run through some issues that have come up and why it is a problem when pro wrestlers speak and the way they're being received by the public, and it's going to ruin them, ruin the product that they're selling or anything else because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And in order for you to be so vocal, you also have to understand intersectionality. You have to understand diversity, inclusion. Everyone fails at intersectionality. I'm gonna tell you that now, because you while you trying to speak up for the Palestinians, you somehow offend the Israelis, and if the Israelis speak up for them, you offend the Palestinians, and if I speak up for black people, white people are upset, and other ethnic groups are like, well, why is it always about black people? And then you got parts where ableism comes in and ageism. WWE is notorious for ageism, inclusion, diversity. You get all the isms. So you have to be very cognizant of what you're going to be talking about. So what are we talking about here? First, let's go into this. I've already spoke about the Bellas before, okay? I've spoke about the Bellas. I noticed something when I was watching Total Divas. Total Bellas is a complete shit show. It's super boring, but whatever. When these people leave the Diva set and they go home and they go into their own life, I look at who they surround themselves with. And a lot of these people outside of the TV show do not interact with other people that aren't them, that aren't their ethnic group. The Bellas do not have a bunch of black friends. And if you thought they did, I don't know why. The Bellas literally have white friends. And I'm not shocked by that. They live in Arizona. Their mom's white. They're estranged from their dad, who's Mexican. The son, their brother is like this ultra conservative. And the Bellas, one's married to earthy ass liberal, Daniel Bryan. And the other one, she's married to a Russian. I don't know what his politics is, but he's Russian. So there you go, there. And then, they like to toe the fence as opposed to just pick a goddamn side. You got to go. There's no toeing the line no more, folks. You got to pick a side. Okay? January 6th happened. Them people smearing their shit on the walls in the Capitol and walking through with rebel flags and shit like that. Confederate flags. It's no... Oh, well, it's not, you either going to be here or there. There's no in-between on that. There's no in-between on 9/11. There's no in-between on Sandy Hook and Columbine and school shootings in Florida and stuff. There's no in-between on this stuff, right? And then depending on who we talking about, y'all are clear as day on what other cultures or other people dealing with. It's because it's their culture. Oh, well, black people are on welfare because it's their culture. Native Americans are, they can't figure things out because of their culture without hitting the nuance and the root of the conversation. So what we talking about? Israeli-Palestinian conflict is going on. Sami Zayn speaks up. I'm going to get into the Bellas, but Sami Zayn is Syrian. He spoke up. Remember, Syria had their whole thing a couple of years ago. They was calling it the Arab Spring and all of this other stuff. Sami Zayn, Syrian. He's very vocal about it, about the conflict. Very well read on it. Knows what's going on. People liked his stuff. Cool. Charlotte, she like Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot is Israeli, and she, if you don't know who that is, that's also Wonder Woman, right? Okay, so she made this whole post about supporting Israel. Okay, she's Israeli. Fine. Charlotte liked her post. Everybody called Charlotte out like, what the fuck are you doing? What do you like in that post? You don't see what them Israelis are doing? You're wrong. Sami Zayn made a post. People called the WWE headquarters, Christians, maybe some Israelis, to voice their displeasure at Sami Zayn speaking out on behalf of Palestinians. But no one called at the displeasure of Charlotte liking tweets on behalf of Israelis. See what I'm saying? So what are we talking about? Now, here we go with Nikki Bella, okay? So, Nikki Bella got backlash in the wake of the growing tensions and violence. It's no growing tensions. This is from an article. I'm reading it. It is what it is. And Bella has now turned the comments off on 3 of her controversial posts where she spoke about anti-Semitism. And she posted a blue square, and plenty of fans paid attention to that. And and the caption she provided. The caption was, peace, love, and light for all. Blue heart emoji, blue peace, and she used a blue peace symbol. Stop hate, stop anti-Semitism. Fans raided Nikki Bella's comment section on Instagram. She turned off those comments to stop fans from flooding her mentions with fiery messages that they were still able to comment on Twitter. One fan said, Nikki, Palestinians are being ripped out of their homes. Posting the blue colors means you support the Israeli government ethnically cleansing a group. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. It is not about that. You're supporting the bombing of innocent civilians. Bella replied to this fan by saying, listen, this isn't political. Strike one. All about peace. I made sure to be educated on the blue square for posting. For me, violence is never the answer. I hope and pray for peace for every child and person around the world. Hate never wins. If I had one wish, it would be for world peace. First of all, it is political. It's political. It's political. Like, it's political. And I'm sure Daniel Bryan can help her with this. He's very smart. I don't know how Artem didn't help her out. I don't know. It's political. Yes, and then you give this flat, oh, it's about peace. It's more like I don't see color bullshit, right? Okay. That didn't seem to stop any of the detractors from her message. Nikki tried to reply to some fans at first, but then she just said, fuck it. One fan said on Twitter regarding Nikki Bella, it took Zionism and the likes of bigots such as Ben Shapiro to make Nikki Bella care about anti-Semitism when black people were also speaking about it during BLM, Black Lives Matter protests, last year and were ignored. Her posts show how useless these bigger platformers are. Another fan was much less kind to Nikki as they replied back saying Nikki Bella is so fucking stupid and she's acting so ignorant it's painful. Nikki Bella has left up her Instagram message so far and won't stop fans from coming down on her for it. This is a very complicated situation and Nikki Bella found herself in the middle of it. So you got the big blue sign, everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then she put hashtag stop anti-Semitism. Then she has like a off lightish blue that says hashtag no hate against Asians, Muslims, Armenians, blacks, LGBTQ, Christians, and Jews. And then she has another post where she posted the world with different ethnic hands and different colors. Okay, so somebody went on to say, and this is what I'm talking about, how you're viewed now. Because you did something dumb, and then you said something along the lines of, I don't see color, and this isn't political, when it clearly is. And you don't know what the fuck is going on. And now you're viewed differently. And people aren't going to forget it. So she said, what gets me about Nikki Bella's blue color post is that black people have been talking about it, and they have. Black people, let me tell y'all something. Y'all could act like, a lot of y'all just coming on the scene, just turning 20. This is your first real taste of conflict, of what people got to deal with. Black people have been yelling about Palestine since fucking the Black Panthers. This isn't nothing new, folks. Black people always will reach out to other people who are experiencing the same ills that black people experience. We can empathize with Palestinians because the same shit happened here in America and in Africa and wherever black people are. So because of that, now people are enraged by Nikki. I never liked Nikki Bella anyways. One person said, another tweeter said, John Cena did the right thing leaving Nikki Bella. John Cena's the GOAT. This post where she said this isn't political is where she failed and where she's always going to have this hovering over her head. Okay? So you got that. Then you got Road Dogg, right? So Demi Lovato came out as non-binary. What is non-binary? Non-binary means you will not adhere to the social norms when it comes to gender. She does not want to be known as a she. Her pronouns are now, them, they. That's it. So if you see Demi Lovato, you don't say, hey, look at her. You say, look at they. Or look at them. However you want to do it. Or look at Demi. Or they are standing over there, as opposed to she is standing over there. That's what she wants to be called. You respect it, you move the fuck on. Or you just address her by her name if you're having difficulty using her pronouns. So what does Road Dogg do? He goes in and he says something along the lines of he's not dealing with non-secular activity, or this isn't secular or some shit. Once again, invoking his religion onto someone else. Christian. Okay? This happened on, on the internet, of course, and she said, this is what she said, and Road Dogg was like, oh, this shouldn't happen, and it goes against religion. Maybe she's not religion. Then people proceeded to validate Road Dogg by reminding everyone that Demi Lovato is a former drug addict, and this is what she wants for attention. I mean, she did have a whole meltdown over yogurt, but that's no reason not to respect what this woman wants to be called. So the guy, Maddie Siegel, who hosted a Boston radio show since 1981, instead of stopping jokes about Demi Lovato and her pronouns, he quit his show. And Road Dogg, in response, says, we have to be bold and stand up against secularism. It's just like police officers quitting their jobs because they can't beat motherfuckers how they want. It's more of a trick. This is how it was. You don't want to fall in line, and now you're going against me. You're doing something to me. When this is a personal issue for Demi Lovato, this old white man wants to sit here and make jokes about it. Road Dogg said it's interfering with his religious practices. Now, what the fuck am I supposed to do with Road Dogg? What am I supposed to do with that? How can you be Christian and say we all have a free thought, we can do what we want, and y'all do things like this? Alright, so let's go to the next one. Booker T. Booker T had his biography. And of course, I mean, it was cool. You know, I've seen it. A lot of things I already knew about and seen it on other, Booker T documentaries. The thing that stood out to everyone was the SummerSlam storyline between him and Triple H. And the fact that Triple H and the WWE writers made that storyline so fucking racially charged that it was insane then, and it's still insane now. And for all of you who's like, well, it was cool back, it wasn't cool back then. Believe me, it wasn't. It wasn't cool then, and it ain't cool now. And if you go back and you can watch it on YouTube, and it is up on Peacock, they didn't. From what I watched it last night, it wasn't cut unless they cut it all of a sudden now. Booker T is being berated, and this is the thing. When wrestlers chop down their opponent, they also build them up. Like, for instance, when Shawn Michaels told when Shawn Michaels was going against The Undertaker, he was saying, you're the greatest wrestler alive. You're a Hall of Famer. You're the best thing smoking. You're the best thing since sliced bread. No one's better than you, but I'm going to whoop your ass. There was none of that. Triple H flat out told Booker T he wasn't shit because he got nappy hair, don't know how to talk, going crazy, and then you got fucking Ric Flair over in the corner talking about, yeah, woo, yeah. And Booker T's face at that particular moment, you could see how uncomfortable he was. It was so hard to watch for everyone involved, except I guess some people who enjoyed the shit. So why am I bringing it up? So I was watching another podcast, and they brought up this revelation to me that during Kofi Mania, there was a lot of stuff going on because Kofi was the first black wrestler, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. So during Kofi Mania, these people said that Booker T got on the mic and he was talking about that SummerSlam storyline and how awful it was and he didn't like it and that sucks and boom, boom, boom. But here's my problem with Booker T, and here's the thing when it comes to representing integrity, ethics, activism, Booker T gets on his radio show and he says, I don't want to make this about race because it ain't about race. They put me over. They did this. They did that. And it ain't about race. And this ain't what it is. And I don't like that.
You doesn't get to be a world champion. You see, people like you don't deserve it. That's reserved for people like me. See, Book, that's where the confusion is. Your confusion is, see, you're not here to be a competitor. You're here to be an entertainer. That's what you do. You entertain people. Hell, you entertain me all the time. Go ahead, Book. Why don't you entertain? Go ahead. Do a little dance for me, Book. Dance? Go ahead. Give me one of those spitteroonies. Come on, Book, dance. Entertain me, that's your job. Don't be embarrassed. Come on, Book. That's what you do. You're here to make people like me laugh.
He's not laughing. Real shitty.
You know it. That's your role. Your job is to make people like me laugh, and you're very good at it. With your nappy hair and your suckers. Hell, I was laughing all week long after you won that 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal. I laughed my ass off thinking about you challenging me for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Wrestling Inc. And it was talking about Booker T, Triple H, WrestleMania 19 controversy. Booker T, Triple H segment pulled from A&E Bio. And my thing is this, how can it be pulled from the bio when, okay, you talked about it, but nobody, it wasn't in there and it got pulled out. It never actually got in. But to write it like that, it makes it seem like it was a whole lot of meat and potatoes on the bone of the story of Booker T, Triple H, WrestleMania 19. And me personally, I've never given that story a whole lot of, credence. I haven't put a whole lot of talk into that night as far as me losing a match. It just happened to be at WrestleMania. It happened to be for the championship against Triple H. They talk about the story that went into it. And I understand that, being a young black kid looking up to, my heroes. Trust me, I understand that as well. But I've never looked at my career and framed my career around any one match, let alone WrestleMania 19, the match with Triple H, where I got paid more money for one match than I got paid for any other match in my life. So I'm like, me personally, I'm not finna complain about that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's about taking care of my family, walking away from it and being able to do it, again, to keep this thing rolling. And when I see stuff like that, when people try to make something out of something that, I don't know, which is more so a racial issue. Let's just put it out there. Yeah. It's nothing more than a racial issue between Triple H, Booker T, WWE, whatnot. It's just a story, somebody trying to get some clicks. But for me, I just want everybody to know that, that was not what my story was about at the end of the day. I got a letter from a man by the name of Justin Vance. He's a resource officer in Nashville, Texas. He said he watched the biography and he was true to touch in a way that you could never have seen. He said he was also a teacher before he took a role in law enforcement as well. He said the one thing that struck with him was, you said, you don't think that you was ever told one time what you wanted to be when you grow up. That right there, I think, it's the moral of the story. And then he said also, I promise that I will make a point to pull each and every one of these kids into my office to have a heartfelt conversation surrounding this topic. That right there is what my story at the end of the day is all about.
And this is why I have a problem with Booker T. Now, you heard Triple H. That was Triple H cut the promo before they went to that infamous wrestling match. I want to point out a couple things. For those who say, oh, it was cool then, notice how everyone is calling Triple H an asshole. I want also to point out when they say, oh, it wasn't that big a deal. When Triple H told him with your nappy hairs, everybody said, oh, because guess what? We know. Booker T deserved to win that match. He took all of that and did not win that match. Okay? Now, right now, he's rationalizing it. And, oh, it ain't about race. This is about a kid who came from nothing to something. And I got paid. Booker T always talks about money. He did that when the two guys who's on AEW, what's they called? Forever. Oh shit. What's the wrestling? When the tag team dudes went over to AEW now, he told them don't leave, stay there and get the money for the family. When Leo Rush had his issue with WWE about him carrying stuff, and he was like, hey man, you know, I'm a small black dude and you want me to carry these white dudes stuff, and I gotta go out here. He told Leo Rush, oh, don't be mad about it, get over that, get the money. When it came to ACH was going the Revival, that was it. He told the Revival, and these are white guys who were being disrespected. Oh, get the money. When ACH was having his issue and about the t-shirts, he turned around. Oh, I don't see that. Get the money. Like, these young guys, there are black people looking up to you, and there were black people looking up to you then, and you stood there and you took it, and he looked uncomfortable. Everybody was uncomfortable. You can feel it when I watch that back now. It was unfucking comfortable. The fact that Triple H read whatever those words were written, the fact that Booker T had to stand there and take it, it reminded me when Sasha Banks slapped Bianca Belair, and everybody was like, so what the fuck? So you just gonna let the bitch slap you? You ain't gonna hit her back? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Ethics, integrity. What are you willing to do just to make some money? And Booker T said here, right here, you heard him. Oh, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. I made the most money in my life. So Booker T got twins. He got a girl and a boy. Does Booker T want somebody to cut a promo on his son like that? Dance for me, boy. People like us. I've heard that before. You've heard it before too. Remember this?
You have a good chance of making it to the top, but now we understand the game. We see what the game is, that people like us will only get so far. Climb the mountain. They'll let you climb the mountain, but as far as getting to the peak and staying at the peak, it's not a thing. That people like us,
black people. By the way, he only
and moving forward clearly can only get so far. So we've done a lot of cool things here. We've been able to do a lot of things that we never could have imagined we could do, but clearly we are never meant to be more than this.
People like us. So it's like comes full circle. That was the only place I could find a clip. So some white guy, Joe Cornyn, I don't know what he had to say on it. I just found the clip and I wanted to make sure y'all heard. People like you, Triple H, people like you are entertainment and you're here to dance for me. People like us, Big E, we're entertainment, we're here to dance for you, which is what the New Day does. So for Kofi to be the second black man to win a major championship, and then they went on to parade him, he's just the first African born, and then we're still having this issue about African American. Like, I'm still waiting on that, but whatever. The Rock being biracial, all of that, representation. So I'm saying this to say, when you get into these arenas of social issues, you have to be careful with how you convey it. The WWE knows full fucking well what they be doing when they put their toe in racism, when they put their toe in, countries against countries. Matter of fact, AEW is doing the same fucking thing. Cody Rhodes just cut an American-laced, I'm an American, my daughter is going to be a white and black American princess, and this man that a go-go is going against from Britain, who is funny, colonized America, but whatever, going against Britain, he was able to get his visa because we're just so generous and we're just so awesome in America. I don't know if Cody is the heel or the fucking face here. because that was not only ridiculous, it was tone deaf as fuck. Right? But they know that because that's going to bring a visceral response from the audience, because these people know their audience are historically white, Southern yokels. It is what it is. We know that. I know that. My pops wouldn't watch wrestling because he said ain't nothing but a bunch of fucking racists watching that. Always the white, always the black guy taking the pin, always the black guy fucking up. How is Booker T gonna fix his mouth and say, take the money, when you got somebody like Ron Simmons? Let's talk about Ron Simmons and integrity.
For a moment, all right? Now, I'm a black man, and you know, life throughout history hasn't proven to have been the best for us in this country. Let's be for real, all right? So for me to be a positive role model, I can't think of anything more positive than to be the first black man to wear that vest. I'll tell you something,
listen, I mean, give me a fucking break, man. Give me a break. Then you got Jackson Riker standing right there. The man has his charged ass views. Okay? Charged views. He's in complete blackface on fucking Twitter, and he's still working. Okay? We gotta get inundated with Hulk Hogan, who said, well, I'm racist. She could have fucked a basketball player when she got to fuck a broken nigga. We got to be in done. He got to show up every fucking where. Y'all don't even think about nobody else. Oh, well, get over it. So now you want to speak on these controversial topics, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you're looking like an asshole. You look like a fucking asshole. This is why people don't want to hear from Cardi B and what she think you should be doing. This is why we don't want to hear from Tom Cruise and what you should be doing, and famous people and George Clooney. People don't want to hear from them because they think they're stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. I don't want to hear from Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro thinks he can speak on Israeli-Palestine situation because he wears a yarmulke and he's Jewish. But his brand of Judaism is some shit I don't know what Torah he's reading from, but it's some wild shit. Okay? So I'm gonna end it here because I'm not gonna go long, but I just want y'all to think about when you are in the world and you get into your fields of study. This goes for doctors, police. You cannot think that you're going to have some ignorant ass conversation and comment and try to police and work with the people that you have a problem with. You can't be Israeli and think you're going to help save Palestinians if you have this thought in your mind that they have no business being there. And it's the opposite. You can't be a cop and you don't like black people and then you policing black people. I wouldn't suggest a black person go and police white people if I don't like you, because it's going to be a problem. You can't be a doctor and have these biases and think you're going to help black people. It's been studied. You're killing us. And your Native American children cannot be adopted by non-Native Americans because of what happened to Native American children. There is reasons why these things are put in place, because you don't want to repeat said issue. And then there's reasons why we keep talking about the same bullshit, because some people have the most primitive thought process and they feel threatened in their position of power. So you have people like Road Dogg talking about secularism when this woman wants to be called them, they, and that's her fucking personal decision about her body and who she is as a woman. And the fact that Road Dogg is a recovering junkie, just like Demi Lovato, is a joke in itself. Now you going, excuse me, I was stuttering. You going through all of this now, but prior to that, you was the good time guy. Fuck everybody else, and who else knows what was going on? So it's a lot of things that need to be said. Even Oscar, and I'm gonna leave this in, Oscar spoke on a white woman You already knew she was white. Accosted her in the airport, told her to go back to China. Oscar's Japanese. She said she couldn't believe it. Why are you mad at me? I didn't do anything. I'm shocked. She said I was floored. She got to deal with that. Everybody got to deal with it. She told her story. Then you got people going, oh, well, get over it now. We love you. You know, all white people. That's not the point. The point is, understand what people are going through. If you don't understand what people are going through, it's best for you to go educate yourself before you make a stupid comment. And you cannot toe the fence, Booker T, when it comes to this. You can't be at an event because the audience is full of black people, Kofi Mania, talking about, oh, this shouldn't happen, and then you go in front of the same people and say, well, it ain't no big deal. I understand WWE is still feeding you, but give me a fucking break. You should have been a WWE World Champion 3-4 fucking times. Not just a five-time WC champion, WCW champion. Ron Simmons came before you. And I don't think anything you said would have came out of Ron Simmons' fucking mouth. I would like to believe that y'all believe that you know, whether you like it or not, you do represent. And we are looking at you. We want to see something positive. We don't want to see a bunch of bullshit and that character shit like Triple H said. I don't want to see Nikki Bella talking about, oh, it's if you don't know what the fuck is going on in Israel and Palestine, I suggest you don't say nothing. If someone says, hey, what you think? Say, listen, I'm not educated in that, and I don't want to say nothing confusion. I don't know. I got to do more education. I'd rather you say that than you just say, well, I think, and then you be fucking wrong and you stupid. So if I missed anybody that you can add to this conversation, do it in the comments. If you made it 41 minutes in, make sure to follow me. And that's it. Be cognizant. Be thoughtful. Critical thinking. Come on, y'all. For real. This is Wrestling Color Podcast. Catch you.